What's up, everybody? This is the Booch, and welcome to episode 4 of the Boochcast reviews, Darkside of the 90s, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, I am once again joined by the Broke Soulless Ginger, Mr. Zack Scott.
What's up, dudettes? Yes, it's me, the Broke Soulless Ginger, Zack Scott. You can't not that broke yet. Let's get the Beanie Baby on.
Yes, as Zach so eloquently put it, because this week, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to endure, hands down, what I think will be, and I know I'm calling this a little early, I'll be sure to mention in a future episode if I'm wrong, the weirdest, most fucked up, most bizarre fucking episode in this entire fucking series. I don't know what else in this season. I don't know what else in season 2. And if there's a season 3, I don't know what's going to be more goddamn ridiculous than what we're getting into today. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Beanie Babies Go Bust. Fucking Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies. Stuffed animals. Everybody went gaga about. Not just boys, not just girls, not just parents. Everybody. I did it because my dad said hell no, and I understood the hype up, but I didn't buy it.
I mean, I bought a few from time to time. You know, sometimes my brother and I would see one that's cool, and we would get a few, but we never got to the point where we were like obsessed with it. I mean, we bought a lot, but we weren't buying them for the reason these psycho moms were fitting to do it for. And at the height of America's rising prosperity in the 90s, the frenzy over a new toy mirrors the stock market. A children's toy leading to counterfeiting, armed robbery, tax fraud, and even murder. Beanie Babies caused all of that. So let it sink in how much you know about Beanie Babies. And you're thinking, Booch, how the fuck could Beanie Babies cause all of that? I'm going to use the same excuse that people use when they do cocaine. It was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
In the early 90s, as America is starting to dial up the internet, and oh boy were we, the dot-com bubble that'll define the decade is just starting to inflate. Wall Street believes that the internet is the future. And obviously they were right, because you're watching this on the internet right fucking now.
Of course, it is the future. Look, what if you didn't have the internet today? What would you be doing right now during our days off from work?
I have no idea.
Thank God.
Probably be playing video games. But obviously, the internet is the future. You're watching this video on the internet right now, and it pretty much defines what we do here on the show. We're dependent on the internet.
Yes, we are.
In a Chicago suburb, the old-fashioned toy maker is quietly stitching a new creation that'll give birth to a real-world frenzy and help launch the country into cyberspace. His name is Ty Warner, and his invention is a pair of small, slightly understuffed plush animals. Brownie the bear and Pinchers the lobster.
Yeah.
He called them Beanie Babies. A Beanie Baby is a beanbag filled with pellets that is shaped like an animal. Lena Trividi is the 12th employee to work at Ty. Don't know why that's an accomplishment, but she mentioned it.
Okay.
She says, they were so bold and bright, they just stood out with these facial features that will just capture you and just make you fall in love with it.
Fall in love with it? I mean, I understood they were nice looking, but I still don't understand the hubbub about the Beanie Babies still to this day.
Yeah, but apparently they made you fall in love with it. So the Beanie Babies a stripper?
Guess so.
That's literally how you would describe a stripper right there.
Pretty much.
And Peanut, the royal blue elephant. There was the magenta teddy. These were a few of the ones that were mentioned in this episode, but there's a lot. There was a husky one that was shaped like a husky dog. There's one that's shaped like a dolphin. There's one that's shaped like a dog or a cat or whatever. Some of them looked like bears, like teddy bears, but some of them looked like other animals too.
I think the most famous one will have to be the red one.
Yeah.
The famous red one.
Yeah.
And also I remember the shark one.
Yeah. And there was plenty of these crazy motherfuckers. There was the rainbow Beanie Baby. There was one that was shaped like Pegasus.
Yep.
There's like a small like polar bear with like big ass freaking eyes.
Yeah.
I saw one in a CVS recently that the way its head was taped, it looked like a sad dog. Like, please take me home. Don't let me stay in this convenience store. I'm tired of being next to the probiotics. Anyway.
And I'm looking at some of these prices here. $6,500, like gobbles of turkey. I remember that. That's $6,750 somebody will pay for.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, over a stuffed animal, but then you got Peanut the elephant. That's $7,000 right there. And that's one of the most expensive one. You got Valentino the bear. You got Lefty the donkey and Roddy the elephant.
Yes.
Piccadilly Attic. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Oh, Bubbles.
Oh, Bubbles.
Which one was that?
The flounder looking fish.
Oh.
And number 3 would have to be 15-inch pinch bear, 9-pinch Rango and Bones, $159,000. That's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 2, Princess the Bear. You know who's that's from?
Who?
Princess Diana.
Yeah, I remember that.
$500,000.
Yeah.
And number 1.
Yes.
Large Wallace and his squad, $600,000.
Yep. Yes.
Who in the right fucking mind?
Oh, we're gonna answer that question. First we have to talk to somebody here. Mary Beth Soboleski. She is a self-proclaimed Beanie Baby addict and was also the editor-in-chief of Mary Beth's Beanie World magazine, who says, I don't think you can look at a Beanie Baby and not smile. Really?
I shake my head.
I have an answer to that.
What's that?
By the end of this episode, you can.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mark Bellomo, who is a toy and pop culture expert. Yeah. That's a toy and pop culture expert. That's a thing in America. So, when you see people like Logan Paul and Kim Kardashian and judge them for how they're famous, remember there's a guy who makes a living as a toy and pop culture expert. Just know that.
Yeah, just know that.
He says, these at one point were beautiful plush toys. And he also, and he owns about 100,000 action figures and about 250,000 comics. He owns every figure, vehicle, weapon, accessory, creature, playset, mail away, and promotional for every action figure line that's been made since 1964, and he has no idea what a vagina feels like. Anyway, not a clue. Yeah, this dude's sick. That is creepy as fuck. Although the one advantage is, if he ever goes bankrupt, he has a way to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Because you sell some of that shit, oh my god. When Ty Warner officially launches Beanie Babies, there are 9 animals in the collection, each with a heart-shaped tag bearing his first name. Now, I'm going to say something here that makes me sound like a total idiot.
What?
When I was a kid, I had no idea what that Ty tag ever meant. And it wasn't until I saw this episode prior to doing this video that I finally found out that's what Ty meant.
Yeah.
That was the owner of the Beanie Babies or the inventor of the Beanie Babies. Never knew that. You're probably thinking, how do I not know that? Because at the time I didn't bother to fucking research.
And also on here it says, I'm looking up the Epic Toy Hush is number 1, the Beanie Baby Bandit. It says that a 77-year-old woman was arrested in 1997 for possession for over 1,247 beanies of the 6,000 total that reported missing from the manufacturer. She brought a bunch of Beanie Babies.
Yes.
And said the retired toys that they did the fetch for more than $1,000 each. Christ. I understand buying some expensive equipment, like a autograph Boba Fett helmet or tether. I'll pay money for that, but I would not pay $1,000 for a stuffed fucking.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Absolutely not. Now, if you had something, hey, here's an old WCW championship signed by Ric Flair. That'd be worth money. That will go in my glass case in my house.
Exactly, yeah.
Or an autograph John Elway Denver Broncos helmet.
Yeah, yes. Yes. In a heartbeat.
Or a guitar, for me, a guitar signed by all the members of Slipknot. That'd be fucking priceless. That'll go in a glass case.
Yes.
You touch that, you die.
Exactly. Now, the sales strategy was this was something that was special. And in order for it to be deemed as special, you wouldn't find it in a big box retailer.
No.
You would go to small mom and pop shops. And that's true.
Very true.
For the longest time, the big corporate stores did not sell Beanie Babies.
No, they didn't.
Usually when we got them, we found them like for example, the only time I've seen Beanie Babies was in like a CVS. There was one near my job and there was one near the house, and I've seen them there. You don't see them in the big corporate stores. Many store owners initially refused to stock Beanie Babies, and its competitors reportedly dismissed the toys as roadkill. They started production in 1993, and nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
A year later, still didn't care. But anyone who picked up a Beanie Baby couldn't seem to put it down. Their purity really made people take notice. It was hard not to pick one up and bounce it around. They became addicting.
Very addicting.
For kids, I believe that.
Yes.
For adults,
no.
Y'all need fucking help.
Very true.
By Christmas of 1995, regionally in Chicago, where the headquarters was, people cared. 2 years into production, Ty sold the $5 Beanie Babies at select gift shops in Chicago. And that's how much they cost. $5. The company also turned out many new characters, but exactly how many is a company secret. One that's designed to cultivate demand. So that was a strategy.
Sure.
How many Beanie Babies are there? That's my secret.
Yep.
For some parents, it was fun to go to the store and have a little checklist and bonding together. And I'm not going to lie, I think Sonny and I had checklists when we went. I definitely know I did that with Pokemon. I was checking them off. As the little group started collecting, it just caught on. Your friends had the ones that you were missing, and it made you want them. There's a lot of truth to that.
Yes, that's true.
Every time you got a bunch of stuff and your friends got one that you're missing, it makes you want to go out and get it so you can compete with your friends at school.
Yes.
That's what it was all about, keeping up with the boys at school. You didn't want to be the one guy that didn't have that Pokemon card or Beanie Baby or whatever.
True.
Becky Phillips, from 1995 to 2000, was an obsessed Beanie Baby collector.
She had no life.
Exactly. She wanted those Beanie Babies desperately.
Yep.
Toys in the 80s were conflict-based. The age of the Cold War and Ronald Reagan, which you're going to hear a lot about in this series. So they had toy lines that were good guys versus bad guys. For example, G.I. Joe and Cobra Commander. Mm-hmm. That was a big one.
That was.
Turtles versus Shredder. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of others. Whereas in the 90s, the Berlin Wall falls.
Yep.
And they don't have that communist other anymore. And instead, they have a period of relative prosperity. Because we didn't really go to war much. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had Desert Storm and the Gulf War, but that was about it. The toys were based on whimsy rather than the real world.
Yeah.
So it wasn't based on any real world shit. It was just something fun. The country in the middle of the decade looks different than at the start. The recession that got Bill Clinton elected is over. More Americans have jobs and are making more money. They're also beginning to dip their toes into the waters of the World Wide Web. And that is one thing. Look, some people have opinions about Bill Clinton, good and bad. I got a few that are good and bad. But there's one thing we can all agree on. During this time, the economy was awesome. During this time. Economic times were great. So that is one positive you can give to old Billy Boy Clinton. He definitely got the economy back on track. And like I said, and then of course the World Wide Web, everybody's starting to learn about that and figure that shit out. Yeah. We're all kind of learning it. Like AOL, Instant Messenger, CD-ROM games, like people are slowly trying to understand like the internet. Now, Lena Trivedi learned about the World Wide Web while attending DePaul University and gets the idea to build a website devoted to Beanie Babies and giving them a list of how many exist. She gets her brother, who's a web designer, to build a mock website. Ty loves the idea and tells her to improve upon it. In late 1996, Ty.com is born. And it makes internet history by being the first website, and this is historic, the first website to sell products online. So Beanie Babies were the first big online sales and purchases before anything else. And it inspired future websites for years to come. So now almost every company you know has an online website that sells products online. You know, like Amazon, Kroger, fucking the local store down the street. Everybody uses the internet now to sell their goods. Yes. So now all that stemmed from Ty.com. Now, Lena says the website was not originally designed to sell merch. That's just what ended up happening. Yes. It was originally designed to provide information on Beanie Babies so you could understand what they are. They had a blog and a guest book for people to interact. So, because they wanted to have Beanie Baby fans to talk to each other. Kind of like today what we have with Facebook groups. Yes. You know, like wrestling fans can get together and chat, and you know, porn people can get together and chat in another group. Or if you all like gardening, here's a gardening group. Go over here, you know. But eventually, however, it eventually on a life of its own and becomes a place to purchase online. There were chat rooms that were used to interact with Beanie Baby fans that instead were filled with teenagers asking each other out and using foul language. Others were arguing with each other. Ty was very upset because no one was talking about Beanie Babies, so after 4 months, he shut the site down. So even at the infancy of the internet, there were trolls, there were battles, there were people yelling, fuck you, hey, I definitely want to fuck you. Like, this shit was happening in the beginning. So it's not like this is something that recently happened with the internet. It's been happening since day one. Yep. And that's one of the things that people say is the downfall of the internet and also the downfall of social media. Was they thought it was going to bring people together. But all it did was make you hate each other even more. Because now people who are angry, bitter, sad, and pathetic now have a platform where they can spew their vitriol. Even on YouTube right now, at some point, there's going to be somebody commenting underneath this. And it's mostly going to be about, damn, Vinny's fat. Damn, Vinny's bald. Fuck you, I get more pussy than you'll ever get. Okay. By 1996, there's a fever building in America. The internet has arrived, and the stock of companies with a .com in their name is seen as can't miss by investors. Seemingly overnight, speculators are making bank on .com stocks from companies that have yet to turn a profit. So these companies haven't even turned a profit yet, but yet you can get .com stock and make a fuck ton of money. True. I mean, that's fucking genius. Very genius. Art. With the internet fast becoming the land of opportunity, Ty Warner's looking to stake his claim. So he relaunches his website with an announcement. that sets Beanie Baby fans ablaze. They decide to retire some of the Beanie Babies, thus motivating people to go out and buy the ones they don't already have. So he's basically deciding, I'm going to take some of these off the market. So now it's like, oh shit, I got to buy that Beanie Baby before it no longer exists and I can't get it no more. And that's good. It's kind of like when someone says, this is going to be like a wrestler's last match. You want to buy tickets to that show. You want to buy that pay-per-view. You want to see that final match before that guy hangs up his boots. But let's be honest. How often do they really hang up the boots?
People say, is this my last match? And also, no, this is my official last match. It turns out to be his last match.
Since one of the few. Now, Ty wanted control over not only the product, but the entire market. His plan was brilliant because it created value and a sense of urgency. And that's a key thing that you want in business. That's one of the key things to sell a product. Create the value and a sense of urgency. Like, you have to buy this now. That's why I like to see certain infomercials. They say, call now and we'll throw in this extra product. But you got to call in the next 5 minutes. Pick up the phone right now. Call. And that's what they do.
Yep.
That's like a motivating sales tactic. I learned that when I did sales back in the day. You know, they would say, like, okay, you got to let me know right now. Put your hands up. Boom. All right. And I would get it out there to the people. It was ingenious. Now, the Beanie Baby website was the most frequented website on the net at that time. In the chat rooms, people were not only talking about Beanie Babies, but were selling and trading them. The prices for these Beanie Babies were $200, $300, $500. One person bought a Beanie Baby for $900.
Over a stuffed animal?
Yeah.
Would you spend $900 on a fucking stuffed animal?
The only way I would spend $900 on a stuffed animal is if it belonged to a celebrity and it had some sort of DNA on it. And even then, I don't think I would.
Me neither. Okay, so who touched this? This person touched it. Oh. Okay. It's a little obsessive right here, but God.
I possess the DNA of Leonard Nimoy?
Oh God, here we go. I'm just giving you the napkin, Sheldon.
Do you realize what this means? All I need is a healthy ovum and I can grow my own Leonard Nimoy.
Live long and prosper.
It's a Saturnarian miracle.
Look, Sheldon's hugging me.
A lot of the moms during that time were hunting for the Beanie Babies and became addicted. Yeah.
Addicted? Is that the word we're looking,
yes.
the word we're looking for here?
These moms were obsessed. And
obsessed was not even the word for it. Thank God my mom wasn't.
It stopped being a child's toy and became a hunt for adults to catch them all. Jeez! Where have we heard that catchphrase before? Catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Oh, that's right. Pokemon. This was their version of Pokemon.
My dad hated Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. That's the best catchphrase for a toy.
Yeah, very
You
true.
gotta catch 'em all. Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. So, Beanie Babies ended up being sold in stores across the country and generated an estimated $28 million in sales. Every time a Beanie Baby got retired, people were buying hundreds of them to sell, obviously. Having artificially created a full-fledged craze, Ty Warner is no longer just a toy maker. He's a bona fide puppet master.
Pretty much.
And an elusive one at that. He did no commercials. He did no interviews. But if you heard his story, you'd know he had it tough. Because Ty Warner was a very unhappy kid. who got in a little trouble, and his father sent him off to a military academy where he excelled. He had a mother who was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, and he only wanted his mother's love. His mother, whose name was Georgia, refused anytime she could. So, yeah. This guy had mommy issues.
Very mommy issues.
And his childhood laid the foundation for what he becomes, a natural-born salesman. His ability and flamboyant appearance make him a standout at his first job, where he was a salesman for the Dawkins Toy Company.
Huh.
He was a salesman. He would get all dressed up in this huge fur coat with a top hat and a cane. He was driving in his white Rolls Royce, and he got the attention of the storekeepers that way. And he was making more in commissions than the CEO.
Whoa.
But literally, he walked in like a pimp. Woman, where's my beanie?
Where's my beanie?
Where's his beanie?
Where's his beanie?
Yeah. How many Beanie Babies you got? All I got's a pincher. You been out here all day and all you got's a pincher? Bitch. To keep the pimp hand strong. When his bosses discovered that he was working on his own toy creations, first comes the pink slip, then comes Thai ink. Stupid motherfuckers.
Yeah, we'll say so, yes.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me.
What?
Maybe it's me.
What?
But I think, here's my opinion. If I ran a toy company and I found out one of my employees was thinking about designing his own toys, as long as he didn't sell any yet, I'd be open to talk to him. Hell, even if he was selling them, I'd be like, hey, how can I make this part of my business? Instead of just kicking him to the curb. Because now you're giving him carte blanche to open his own toy place. People compared him to Willy Wonka. You didn't see him, and he dressed in all black in an era where people don't do that. Which is kind of weird. I think everybody does that now.
Dressed in all black? It was the 90s.
Yeah. He never got the love he wanted from his mother, so he poured the unconditional love he had into his toys.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, almost every artist does that.
Yes.
Everybody with a troubled childhood. I put it into my music. I put it into my comedy. I put it into my acting. He put it into toys.
Yeah.
As the 90s turned another year older, Beanie Babies hit a massive growth spurt as a result of eBay.
Yeah.
Yes. eBay was created by Pierre Omidyar as a website called Auction Web. Beforehand, you went to pawn shops and they would only offer you what they had in the register.
Yeah.
eBay lets you sell to the world. You put the item up there and people bid for it, and the highest bidder gets them. At one point, 7 to 10% of all business of all listings on eBay were Beanie Babies.
Yes.
It was revolutionary, and collectors were essential to the rise of eBay.
Yep.
So basically, selling and buying Beanie Babies put eBay on the map.
True.
In 1996, Ty's profits jumped tenfold from just the year before. His total revenue, $280 million. That's how much money this dude is making. It was the biggest toy since the hula hoop. The Beanie Baby train is already moving fast. And then fast food decides to climb on board.
Oh, God, I remember this. Remember the long lines? They didn't even want the food. All they wanted was a fucking toy. I thought you'd go there for the food and the fucking toy, not just the toy.
Exactly.
I remember my mom goes, "This is absolutely nuts." My mom goes, "No, but no." I was like, "Okay."
Here's the thing, though.
It was
most kids. Again, I'm talking about kids. Adults are fucking weird in all this. I'm talking exclusively to kids.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. When we got our Happy Meals, most of us were more concerned with the toy inside than the actual food.
Duh.
I mean, we ate the food, but we didn't really care about the food.
Yeah, that's true.
You saw the toy commercial. Okay, what's the latest toy that's coming out? Oh shit, we gotta go to Mickey D's. So the kids were definitely like that. The fact that the parents were joining in on that was fucking weird. Now, you're probably wondering what toy this was. He creates teeny Beanie Babies. Basically the same thing, only smaller. To be sold in McDonald's Happy Meals. as a way to promote his product globally. It was so successful, McDonald's does it again in the summer of 1998. But there's a whiff of tension in the air the second time around. Fueled by bidders on eBay, a full set of the giveaway plushies are now worth $75 on the secondary market. And that's leading to some very unhappy meal family experiences.
Uh-oh.
Oh, see what they did there, bro?
Yep.
Get it? Unhappy meals. Oh, you slay me. Becky would have kids with $20 bills buying as many Happy Meals as they could. And then go to the next McDonald's and do the same thing. So you're handing $20 bills to kids and give us all whatever amount of Happy Meals we can get for $20. Give us that. Ooh, we got this one, we don't have this one, we got this one. Another McDonald's. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep. Like, man, I can see going past that damn McDonald's right near my old daycare. The line's morning, lunch, and dinner will be packed.
And there was people in there just looking at them like, y'all are fucking weirdos.
Yeah, my mom goes, this is stupid. And I was like,
when word spreads that some McDonald's around the country are running out, the mania spirals into mayhem. And they said, like, this woman in front of me, that they were out of something and she went nuts. It stopped being a restaurant and basically was a line to get a teeny beanie. That's what it was. No more do they care about the food. It was disrupting business. Adults would be standing in line and punching each other to get Happy Meals. This is the equivalent to moms getting into knife fights in Toys R Us.
Oh my.
The only difference is that shit only happened once a year. On Black Friday, during Christmas shopping. We all prepared for it. As a former retail associate, we were all standing there. We who are about to die, salute you.
This is why I wash dishes. We shut the doors early and I get to go home.
We were all standing there like Lord of the Rings. So it begins. I look over at the midget next to me. Never thought they'd be standing side by side with a dwarf. What about a friend? I can do that. It's just weird. It was just, that's how fucked up it was.
Oh my god.
It was, yeah. And the wolves on this Wall Street may be stuffed, but they bite. And they were homicidal, bloodthirsty, greedy, slimy people.
Yeah, they were.
At this point.
I really remember everything getting too crazy. I didn't hear any rumors. I just remember the toy stores being packed, McDonald's being packed, and I'm like, okay, no. Kind of grew out of the stuffed animal thing by the time I was by what?
Yeah. You know, I pretty much had one teddy bear. That lasted me a little bit longer.
I had a stuffed Simba.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a Simba, that's it.
Yeah. Now, at one point, there was a Beanie Baby backup on I-285 West. After a load of McDonald's-bound teeny baby bears spilled out into the middle of the interstate.
Oh, I heard about this.
Most cars simply slowed down. Others saw gold and they went for it. They're literally, looks like one of those traffic copters. They're looking down. Are you seeing this? People are getting out of their car in the middle of the street, grabbing a bunch of Beanie Babies and getting back in. It became a very different market. It was no longer the moms and their kids. It became people's full-time jobs because they thought it was easy money. When that happens, you start to attract a whole different type of person.
Yep.
Yeah. Literally, it became like people literally made a living selling Beanie Babies. Yep. Like full-time jobs, paid the rent, fed their kids, kept the roof over the head. Like that kind of shit. For a long time, Liddy's job was handling the articles, and she would see these newspaper articles on people running after UPS trucks. Here's how bad it got. Ty Warner had to take the Ty Heart off of the shipping boxes because fans would assault UPS drivers. Like they would come in with a Beanie Baby delivery, and they would beat them up and steal the box.
Oh my god!
So Ty had to take his label off the boxes, so UPS workers wouldn't get hurt. Many organized crime rings recognized the value of beanies, and instead of drugs, instead of prostitution, instead of guns, they would actually break into shops to steal Beanie Babies. Hey.
Some mob got involved with the Beanie Babies. What the fuck do those dickheads want with a Beanie Baby? Don't you do it.
You really want to know?
Here we go.
I'll fucking tell you why.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, let me tell you something. It all started. I went to the fucking store. Wanted to get my son a fucking Beanie Baby, okay? So I get the fucking Beanie Baby. Little toy fucking stuff fucking thing filled with these pellet shit. I see the smile on my kid's face. He then proceeds to tell me that this fucking fugazi who lives across the street from me is actually making a fucking living selling these fucking Beanie Babies. People are actually fucking stupid enough to buy this shit. So when one of the boxes, happened to fall off the truck.
Yeah, with you. Fall off the truck.
Yeah.
What'd you put it in? What'd you go put in? Was you stash the tomatoes?
Hey, what the fuck did I tell you? It fell off the truck. So I picked it up. I sell one of these things. Next thing you know, boom. I got enough money for me and the missus to have a hot tub in the back. I don't know if you ever had.
What happened?
You ever had your dick sucked in a hot tub? It's a great fucking feeling. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all would enjoy it. Y'all used to boiling shit. Why not enjoy the hot tub?
Yeah. Our pars are better, and our alcohol is better. Fuck off.
Whatever. So, but yeah, the mob got into Beanie Babies.
Oh, why would the mob get involved in Beanie Babies?
Because they saw they was making money. If the mob
get money off of a Beanie Baby
by selling it like everybody else does.
But why would they sell Beanie Babies? They can make profit off of other stuff.
Because they saw it was popular, and it was easier than having to go get fucking drugs. Because here's why: if you got caught with Beanie Babies, they didn't put you in handcuffs. You get caught with a drug shipment, you go into fucking jail. If you got a stable full of hoes, you go into fucking jail. If you got some unregistered firearms, you go into fucking jail. Cops ain't gonna lock me up for a fucking stuffed lobster, a fucking shark, a fucking lamb, a fucking dog, a fucking cat. The one with the one with the fucking rainbows and shit. It's fucking brilliant. Now, eventually, you thought it wasn't going to get crazier. Here it is. There would be counterfeit beanies from Beijing. They had no serial numbers or markings, so it would be hard to trace who made them. The counterfeits were coming into the country through eBay. Collectors spent $10,000 on beanies, and every one of them were fake.
Huh.
The FBI seized 456 fake beanies. When it became an arena of greedy, slimy people trying to slide into the joy of this collective market, Mary Beth lost her joy. The once successful Beanie Baby addict pretty much said, "Fuck this, I've had enough." Although the counterfeit market cut into Ty Warner's bottom line, 1998 was still a banner year for him as the company's profits hit $1 billion. This sumbitch made $1 billion. I don't ever want to hear somebody tell me I have a stupid idea ever again. This sumbitch made $1 billion off of bears filled with stuffed pellets. And his personal take home. So the company makes $1 billion. Mm-hmm. The money he gets to take home and put in his personal account, $700 million. But the more he makes, the less we see him. We call that intelligence.
Very intelligent.
Newspapers would call him and want to quote as they were writing an article about Beanie Babies in a newspaper about the craze, about this new product. The more they tried, the more he pulled back. he bought the Four Seasons Hotel, Chicago, and renovated its penthouse suite, and that's where he lives. So he bought the whole hotel and lives in the penthouse. His corporate office is in Westmont, Illinois, and it's a fortress. And employees are under strict gag orders. Like, not to mention shit that goes on in there. The Westmont police patrolled the building at all times. You could talk to the front desk, but you wouldn't get much info on Ty. So at best, you're going to see the front desk, and that's all you're getting. Yep. Very few people are going to make it past that front desk. Unless you got a meeting or an appointment, you're going to meet somebody, but it ain't going to be Ty. Ty created the billionaire Beanie Baby as a gift to his employees for a job well done. So he creates a Beanie Baby exclusively for his employees. Which I got to give him credit. Mm-hmm. That was nice of him. Yep. You know what? And I'll give you credit. As recluse as he is, that's a good boss.
Yes, it is.
You know? Now, granted, I'm sure some of the employees would prefer another zero on the paycheck. But at least he's giving them something, nice. Yeah. I went through the trouble to make this Beanie Baby that I'm not going to profit on. And I'm going to have a bunch of them made, and you all get to have them as a gift. They're not going to be sold in any stores. So you're the only ones that will have them. Seriously, I think that's fucking cool. Mary Beth drives the headquarters, and a publisher sends her $5,000 in cash and told her to offer that to employees to get the Beanie Baby. So you're trying to get people to make $5,000. She offered, but they all turned her down with fear in their eyes. Because they know we ain't crossing Ty. This is the best job I ever had. I ain't fitting to do that. At one point, she breastfeeds her baby in the car. And a cop with a gun tells her to get out of here right now. The cop wouldn't even let her finish breastfeeding. Basically said, get off the property, get out of here now. Now, Tide has trade secrets and business strategies to protect. And as he approaches his 4th year in the Beanie Baby boom, he's about to reveal a scheme that will crush collectors and topple the market. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is where Ty becomes his own worst enemy. Near the end of President Clinton's 2nd term, and on the eve of the new millennium, much of America is living like the bubble can only keep expanding. From the titans of Wall Street to New York City's cabbies, folks across the economic spectrum are partying like it's 1999. Because, hey, it was.
It was.
Thanks to massive windfalls from their dot-com stock trading, and while the good times continue to roll on the stock exchanges, so it goes in the Beanie Exchange as well. A lot of collectors had quit their jobs. And they were at the trade shows. So that's how much money they were making. And you can't really give them shit, let's be honest. If you could make enough money doing this where you didn't need your job, would you go back? That's how you know if someone truly loves what they do for a living. Is if you had all the money in the world, would you still go into work? For a long time, my answer was hell no. There was one job where I would say yes. So Becky would meet with them, and they had the most beautiful jewelry they've ever seen. They were decked out. They had diamond necklaces, diamond earrings, and they were making every month $30,000 just in their beanie profits. That's how much money they were making. Every month they were taking home 30 grand. Television programs, newspapers, magazines, and Beanie Baby-centric magazines that sprung up all perpetuated this value myth. There was also a book that came out that was predicting the prices of the beanies and how they would go up, and he was predicting very high prices. People were reading it as if it were the truth. People watched their friends get incredibly wealthy off internet stocks and really wanted to get in on it, but they didn't have enough money to invest. So they went to Beanie Babies. This is all fueled by the fact that the initial investment cost was $5. That's how much. Because that's how much they cost. You could buy a bunch of Beanie Babies for $5 and sell them for even more. Yep. It was $5 with the potential for thousands of dollars in revenue. At one point, Mary Beth was offered $100,000 for her entire collection. And she said no. 100 grand. For 100 grand, pick whatever you want in this room. Take my recliners. Take this belt. Take the recording equipment. Take my ginger. Whatever you want.
You. I knew that was coming. Hey, I'm priceless.
I'll put a price on your ass.
I know you will. I'm more than 100 grand.
Well, that's true. He is sober today, so it's worth more. Yeah. And her collection became like an appendage, like losing an arm or a leg. Yeah. Bitch, you need help.
Yes, you do.
You need serious fucking help. That you love Beanie Babies that much that you wouldn't sell the whole collection for $100,000? $100,000. You stupid.
Yeah, you are.
Unless I have something worth $1 million, I'll sell it for 100 grand.
True.
Now, if I got something that's worth $1 million, I may try to jack it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
But Beanie Babies? Fuck. If I had a collection in the attic for 100 grand, you could have all the hell. For 100 grand, I'll give you everything that's in the attic. Even shit that's not even mine. My mom might be like, Vinny, what the fuck? Here's a cut. So relax.
Right, no, sure.
If I sold something and made $100,000 and gave her a portion of it, she ain't fitting to cuss me out. I could sell her jewelry and not get in trouble. Now, most people kept them for sentimental reasons, and I call them idiots. And others felt it would put their kids through college. Okay. Not outside the realm of possibility at that time. While prices in the secondary market are still in the stratosphere, wholesale orders are beginning to dip. Having successfully sparked the now 4-year-old craze with his retirement scheme, Ty Warner comes up with a new plan to juice demand and prove that he can make lightning strike twice. And here's the bombshell to end all bombshells. He puts out a large message to the media that on December 31st, 1999, the entire line of Beanie Babies will be retired. Every single one is gone. Yep. He's going to take all of them out. So if you want the entire collection, you better get it by 99. By the end of the year. Yep. Before we hit 2000. Yep. The chat rooms go crazy with questions trying to figure out why is he doing this. They would put out messages on the website that the end is coming. Now, most people thought it was going to be the end of the world because it was Y2K. Most people thought it was going to be the end of the world because no more Beanie Babies. That's sad.
Very sad.
Ty wanted very much to have total control, and he felt like the great Oz behind the curtain. Yep. He's like, dance, my little puppets, dance. With months to go until the end of the decade, word of Ty Warner's declaration that all Beanie Babies will be retired on New Year's Eve creates fear and uncertainty in the collecting community. In Elkins, West Virginia, 2 night watchmen at a local lumber yard, Jeffrey White and Harry Simmons, are hoping to cash in on the rush. The two purportedly have a plan to start a trading business. Simmons loans White $150 and several $100 worth of beanies to sell. But the deal goes sideways when White doesn't pay Simmons. The two argue, White storms off, and then returns with a gun. When the smoke clears, Simmons is dead and Jeff White is sent to prison. Yes. Over Beanie Babies. A man lost his life.
Okay. Part where I'm glad I never got involved with them or invested in them. Glad my parents didn't either.
Yes. The final beanie to be produced is named The End.
Yep.
Stamped on the heart-shaped tag attached to the little black bear is this poem. All good things come to an end. It's been fun for everyone. Peace and hope are never gone. Love you all and say so long. But as collectors soon discover, the heartfelt message rings hollow. A few months later, Ty restarts production with a Beanie Baby named The Beginning.
The Beginning.
People took that opportunity to quit because they felt played. It crashed the market just like a stock market crash.
Yep.
It all just went... At one of the shows in Chicago, there was a collector person who was from Carlsbad, California, and a huge collector. He came in with his beanies, put them all down, threw the beanies down on the floor, and said, "I'm done. The price has crashed. They're worthless now." Ty Warner made an enormous error for himself, and for all the collectors of Beanie Babies. It was all over.
Yep.
People were very disappointed. They spent so much money, and now you have a chest full of beanies with perfect tags that can do no more than be played with at this point. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest right now.
Whose fault is this?
Not even whose fault is this. All we can do is play with them. That's what the purpose was.
Yes, it was.
The purpose of buying a toy is to play with it. Take it out of the box and play. Why would you buy a toy for anything else? Of all the toys that I have one that's still in a box that I will never open. And it's done for one reason and one reason only.
What reason is
It's
that?
autographed by Triple H.
There you go.
That's a reason not to open a box. Yeah. Or, I'll even show you some cool shit right here. Look at that.
Oh yeah, Chip from the Small Soldiers.
Yeah, I found this box and put him in there. Check it out. I'll show it to the camera. Major Chip Hazard.
Big.
Gorgonite scum.
Gorgonite scum.
Yes. We are the Commandos. Everything else is just a toy.
What is this?
Yes. So, that's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, to be okay with a toy. There was a soap opera actor who invested $100,000 worth of Beanie Babies for his child's college education. And then it all falls apart.
Uh-oh.
I hope he's still in soap operas.
Uh,
Well, otherwise he lost a ton of money. By the end of 1999, Becky was selling off most of her collection because her kids moved on to other things. Because again, that's what kids do. They have a toy, they love it, they get tired of it,
they don't play with it.
And move on to the next.
Yep.
And that's basically what the kids did. She also knows a lot of counterfeits on the market. While the Beanie Baby faithful deal with the financial fallout, Ty Warner is flush with cash. He's made his billions and his company is now one of the wealthiest toy sellers in history. But his past would come back to haunt him.
Of course.
So, and you know what's funny? When I heard them say that, I'm like, oh boy. What Me Too scandal is he about to get involved in? What did he say in like 1975 that's going to come back today?
Okay.
Once in love with e-commerce, Wall Street has turned its back on the dot-coms. With the crash of the NASDAQ, the gravy train came to a screeching halt for their dot-com industry. So now that's fucked. But here's the story. In 2004, the Beanie Baby billionaire claims losses of more than $39 million. The IRS believes the toy maker is now playing financial games. More than a decade after the end of the Beanie Baby boom, Ty Warner, now ranked 209, the elite Forbes 400 richest people in America, is arrested for tax evasion.
Oh.
Turns out, Ty had an account, an offshore account. And in this offshore account, Ty nestled about $100 million and didn't tell anybody about it. He was sentenced to 2 years probation and 500 hours of community service. Now, based on federal sentencing guidelines, he could have faced up to 57 months in jail. Now, people would want to know, oh, great. Here's another rich guy with a fancy lawyer who buttered up the judge so he wouldn't go to jail, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. That's not why they reduced his sentence. Here's why. The judge cuts him a break because of the tens of millions of dollars in charitable contributions Warner has made throughout the years. Which, I'll be honest, that's a valid reason to reduce a guy's sentence. Like, all right, look, he evaded the government. That was wrong. But at least he's not a greedy motherfucker either.
No, he's not.
You know, he's given money to charities. He's helped out organizations. So he's been good with his money. Now, it's still wrong that he evaded the government. So we got to give him some type of punishment. But I'm not going to prosecute to the full extent of the law someone who in general is not a shitty person. And that's what I think the full extent of the law should be for. People who are actually shitty. You know? Mm-hmm. It's like the death penalty. It should only be saved for the worst of the worst criminals. People who commit heinous acts with no remorse of any kind. Beanie Babies had an impact on society and changed the way business and collecting is done.
Pretty much.
I mean, that was it. That's the impact Beanie Babies had on America.
Pretty much.
It created the e-commerce.
Yes, it did.
It launched eBay. And it made a lot of people rich, but also made a lot of people batshit fucking crazy.
Cuckoo in the head.
They are. Yeah. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Which ironically are a little bit better than Beanie Babies.
Yes, they are.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, will wrap up this week's episode of Boochcast Reviews, Darkside of the 90s. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Zach, for joining me. Tune in next week, because we got a fun one next week, and I think this is one that Zach is really going to enjoy. We got Grunge and the Seattle Sound.
Yeah.
Coming next week.
So,
make sure you guys follow us on all of our podcast platforms. The link is down in the description box below. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. The link is down in the description box below. Also, make sure you guys go to anchor.fm/Boochcast/support. Donate to the Boochcast. Help us keep the show thriving. That link will be down in the description box below. And, of course, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified so you never miss another episode of Boochcast Reviews Darkside of the 90s, as well as other additional Boochcast YouTube content. We'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, pizza, baby!